giving you this week's workshop from a chapel that was built in the 1400s here in England. I've snuck in. Shh. Why not, right? Today we are talking about releasing the need to prove yourself. So I was getting a massage recently and it was way too hard. The pressure was really painful. And I was so nervous to speak up and ask for the masseuse to go lighter. And it took me a good half hour of extreme discomfort to finally open my mouth and say, "Would you mind going a little lighter, please?" And she said, "Oh, absolutely, no problem." And it was no problem. And then I enjoyed the rest of my massage, and I spent the rest of the massage wondering what had been so difficult for me about that situation of asking for what I needed. Yeah, part of it was that I didn't want to offend her, but it was deeper and way more personal than that. This was life-changing to me. On that massage table, I realized I had a belief that I needed to prove to myself that I could withstand that strong pressure, so that I could prove that I was strong to myself and to her. Why do we need to prove anything to strangers? We do this constantly. I realized I felt shame in not being able to withstand the strongest pressure. No pain, no gain is this toxic lie that I have been told my whole life and that I believed, right? In so many situations, you're told by a coach or a parent, an elder, no pain, no gain. And so you push yourself harder and you really, really put yourself through hell to get the gain. Yeah, but no, I don't know if I believe it anymore, and I'm going to tell you why. So I couldn't stand the pain. I spoke up, I opened my mouth, it was no problem. And it opened up this world of enjoyment, of actually enjoying the massage and benefiting from it instead of suffering through it. And I think so often in our lives, we are suffering through things instead of benefiting from them, simply because it's time to drop the lie that pain equals gain. So often we're piling immense pressure on ourselves with relationships and jobs and goals and beliefs, and it's dementing our lives into this endurance test. Life is not meant to be an endurance test. Life is not meant as that. Life is meant to benefit you in deeper ways that do not have to feel overwhelming. And when I was having these realizations on the massage table, I realized that I've carried overwhelm as a badge of honor. I've carried my ability to withstand overwhelming pressure as a martyr, and I'm sick of it. I don't want to live that way anymore. It's like I've lived that way to prove what a substantial person I am. Look at me. Look at how much pressure I'm under. I'm such a substantial person. Can you relate to that? I've been journaling about all this for a couple days before I'm speaking to you about it, about that no pain, no gain lie. Pain really means pressure, which in the lie equals substance as a person, and gain equals productivity, right? What you're going to get out of that pain. The gain makes you a worthy person. So when we let go of this lie, we can release the pressure. We can reach a quality and a depth and a power that's tranquil and not forced. And that's when our body can benefit fully, not when we're under forced pressure. When you bury yourself under forceful pressure, you suffer, your body suffers, your life suffers. So I want to ask you, where are you enduring immense pressure? Where are you doing this to yourself? I want you to list that out. Most often it's us that's doing it to ourselves more than actual outside pressures. We create them in our mind. We love our pressures because it makes us a substantial person. If you believe the lie, no pain, no gain. You've been doing this for a long time to yourself. So today's workshop is about speaking up for what we need so that we can get to a pressure that's enjoyable and beneficial and healing instead of overwhelming and harmful. So it's a two-parter because just a few weeks ago, I had another massage, and this time, instead of a tiny lady as the masseuse, I had this huge, like 7-foot tall guy, and I spoke up right away. And he told him the pressure that felt good. And of course, it was no problem. And this guy was super intuitive to the point that he barely touched me, but it was probably the most beneficial massage I've ever had. He focused in on the spots on my body that needed attention. And he applied just enough pressure while he worked my limbs around. And he would stay on one spot for a while. And when I brought this up to him with amazement, because it was really helping me, he said, people think that to have a beneficial massage means that you have to get rubbed hard the whole time. Like I used to think, right? No pain, no gain. I want that hard pressure because that's how my body will benefit the most. No. He explained to me that it's more about knowing where to apply pressure, and you don't need much to heal the body, which really unlocked this concept for me of gentle manifesting. So like the no pain, no gain lie, you don't need to force your desires and your goals to achieve them. You can gently manifest them into your reality. So often we manipulate and maneuver and force to make it happen, but we do not have to live that way. You can achieve your desires so much easier by making the decision, setting the intention, and then steadily apply pressure to that intention at a pace that feels good for you. You can focus on that desire at a level of pressure that feels beneficial and enjoyable. Imagine that, huh? So let's compare these two worlds, okay? There's the gentle manifesting, which let's compare to the intuitive, minimal touch massage that's most beneficial for our mind and body, versus the forcing of our agendas, of our goals, of our desires. We'll compare that to the non-intuitive, unfocused, rubbing massage that's not benefiting anything and can actually be harmful. Gentle manifesting versus painful forcing. Now this goes against what we think we know. We've been taught the opposite. And so practicing this in our life is going to feel like going underwater and taking a big breath. So this involves deepening our intuition so that we can feel intuitively where to apply the pressure. And that involves trust, and it feels totally backwards to trust that you can intuitively feel where to apply the pressure instead of just applying brute force pressure in general, which is what we do in life so often. So this becomes a meditative process of checking in with ourselves. Where do I need to just focus in on and apply gentle pressure to achieve what I want or to feel better? Your body and your mind and your soul are always speaking to you with your goals, your desires. So this goes back to the first question, but I'll say it differently now. List where you're forcing in your life. I want you to list out where you're painfully forcing things in life, a relationship that feels forced, a job that feels forced, and how can you reapproach those same goals? Because it's not about letting go of these desires, it's about reapproaching them with gentle focus. You don't have to let it go. It's just time to flip your thinking. Remember, it's gentle manifesting, not painful forcing. In every aspect of your life, this is possible. So where can you flip your thinking to gently manifest instead of painfully force? Pain does not equal gain. That is a lie. You do not have to prove anything to yourself. You do not have to prove that you can withstand the pressure. That is not what makes you a substantial person. You are a substantial person, no matter what. You are a substantial person when you are peacefully manifesting and drifting through your life at a beautiful pace that feels enjoyable, beneficial, healing. That's just as substantial as withstanding intense pressure. So get in there with this joy work. List out where you have kept yourself under immense pressure, whether it be a relationship, a job, a goal you have. And get in there and reframe this for yourself. You can change your whole life this way. And I'm so grateful that those two massages unlocked this life lesson for me so that I can bring it to you, because it's really changed my life and it's helping me a lot to reframe my own goals and desires, relationships, and life experience this way. It's so nice not having to believe anymore that pain is gain. Life is not meant to be an endurance test. You are meant to enjoy your life. You are meant to feel peace of mind in your life. You are meant to gently manifest everything your heart can imagine. Now that's powerful. So lots of love from this gorgeous, gorgeous chapel in England. I will continue to bring you magical locations so that we can feel inspired and excited by the work we're doing. Praise be to God.